Or they view the behavior as part of the person's character, rather than the situation or context.
She's a control freak.
He's just a liar.
But she's totally codependent.
He's just like my father.
It was intense, but it was good to see them connect and support each other. Janice actually talked about her guilt for all the stress she put her family through, and her mom owned up to her part in making things hard for Janice.
Okay. What else?
In family meetings, they're working on negotiating new rules and consequences and staying calm instead of issuing out these ultimatums. Also, Lydia's getting support for herself through Al-Anon.
Oh, great. Good. What about the other families?
Well, I got a call from Ms. Perez.
Last weekend. When Carlos was supposed to be with us for the whole weekend, we let him go out with some friends to a music thing. We talked about it beforehand, who he was going with, whether they would be doing, what he would do if there's pot or booze there, and he seemed okay when he left, but then he didn't come home when he said he was, and I tried calling over, and he wasn't picking up. I was so worried and mad. He had finally worked out to being able to go out alone, and then he pulls this. And finally, around 11 a.m., I get a text from his dad saying he was at his apartment and would bring him back in the morning. And when he came home around 11 o'clock, Edmund confronted him about not, breaking curfew, about not calling us, not coming home. And all he said was that he wanted to see his dad. I think he drank and didn't want to face us after. I can't believe Ruben didn't bring him back to us right away.
I can hear how upset you sound. And I'm so glad you called us because this is exactly the kind of partnership that we spoke about. So we'll work through this together, okay?
Okay. Remember the developmental model I talked to you all about? These three families are all in different stages of family recovery. So how does that play out in group work?
That's countertransference, and it can keep us from seeing our clients clearly. So it's important to know when it's happening and what to do about it.
I get that. I mean, sometimes I have to be the heavy. I get that. And Elizabeth and Edmund, I'm sorry. I should have brought him back to you right away. I put you in a tough spot. I thought that I was protecting him, but I was just enabling. All I can say is that it's real hard sometimes to know the right thing to do.
Thank you for saying that, Ruben.
I just hope you'll remember that the next time. Hopefully, there won't be a next time.
But there may be. Hey, listen, this is complicated stuff. It's not easy to be a parent in recovery. I mean, you're learning your own boundaries yourself, right? Ruben, I give you a lot of credit for owning up to that. It's not easy to do. And while I do want you guys to talk through what happened that night with Daryl in your next family meeting, I need to bring it back to our group topic, which is the fix-it, control-it mentality that families engage in active addiction and recovery. Elizabeth, you're working really hard right now to convince Ruben and to manage Edmund's feelings too. Do you see that?
I'm sorry, I don't...
Yeah, but whoever she's tempted to use. I'm not sure she's prepared for all those situations. And her grades have been slipping too. So where she start cutting classes again?
Mom, I told you. I'm gonna tell you exactly where we're gonna be. I'm not gonna go to those other places I was hanging around. I told you I don't do that anymore.
And how am I supposed to know that?
Because you're supposed to trust me. How are you gonna believe I'm different if you won't give me a chance? You're suffocating me.
We talk about that in the multifamily group. And honestly, a lot of times I have no idea what's going on. So I just check out. Babe, I realize that only leaves you alone with Janice, and that's not fair. And it's not good for Janice. But I don't know what to do. Maybe we can find somebody to talk to about your stuff, about our stuff.
They help me to see that there's more than one way to react to things, that I do have a choice.
That's powerful stuff, Lydia. Our perspective changes, and the way we handle stuff changes too. Is anyone else finding that?
Well, Caden's been doing pretty good so far, so we haven't had to make any big changes or anything. Lucky for us.
I'm glad to hear so far so good, John. It's pretty common for things to calm down a lot at home when your teen starts treatment. And every once in a while it stays that way, but more often than not, things tend to get worse before they get better.
Sort of like a honeymoon period?
Yep. So you'll keep us posted?
Sure.
Great.
Yeah, we haven't been through a lot of the same things that you all are dealing with. Caden's still in residential. He hasn't been home much yet. I know it's going to get harder when he is.
There'll be some changes, but we'll be here to help you walk through them together, right?
We all help each other. I like this group because of that.
Me too.